Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The City of Seward abides by the Nebraska Meetings Act and conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording processes is posted in the meeting room. A participant sign-in sheet is available for use by any citizen addressing the council. Presenters shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record, and are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks shall be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The City of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary, and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Wilkin.
Present.
Beck.
Here.
Camper.
Here.
Fritz. Pike.
Here.
Singleton.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Hands.
First item this evening is consideration of approval of draft minutes for November 3rd, 2015.
Move approval.
Aye.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Wilkin. Beck. Camper. Pike. Singleton. Schmidt. Motion carried.
Item number 2 is consideration of consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Wilkin. Beck. Camper. Pike. Singleton. Schmidt. Motion carried.
Item number 3, consideration of awarding bid for pickup for fire department. Bruce, did you want to take that?
Yeah, the fire department went out for bids on a new 2016 1-ton pickup for grass rig. And John, I think you did that work for them.
Yeah. We did go local, get bids local, but the best bid that we got is from Woodhouse. So we're going to take we're recommending the Woodhouse bid for the, I think it is 32,854.22.
And you wanted the long box too, right?
Yeah, we were going with a 4-door long box, and eventually we'll put the flatbed on it when money's more available for maybe for next year. It's replacing a 1988 GMC, and then that truck will go to the city street department to help with the trail.
Bonnet, or Bart, did you have something to add?
Well, I was just gonna say, are we going with the 32,000 then, or the 33,000 with the long box?
It's the long box. It's recommendation
add-
number 2.
And but you want the long
But
box,
you
so
yeah.
want
that'd be the,
3
Yeah.
later? or
Number
not?
2 is what we're doing, but we're adding the long box as well.
Okay, so it's actually 32,800
Yeah.
plus
The 400.
400.
Any other questions or comments from the council? No, we'll entertain a motion. I would entertain a motion to award bid for the pickup truck. Is a motion and a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Wilkin. Beck. Camper. Pike. Singleton. Schmidt. Motion carried.
Thanks for not letting me drown there, guys. Item number 4, consideration of awarding bid for Plum Creek Sewer Siphon Protection Project. And I believe Tim Richdig is here, as well as Ben Day with Olson Associates. Bruce, did you want to start, or did you want?
well, Ben can talk about the project, but we went out for bids on the Plum Creek Sewer Siphon Protection Project, which is a sewer line that runs from the college, but it crosses the creek down there, and it has been kind of washing out, and it needs to be repaired and put in concrete so it doesn't collapse. That's the biggest concern we have. I guess we've been talking about it for quite a few years now, but Ben, do you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, just so that the background is correct, it's been exposed for a number of years now and in the budget, and just recently, we've been talking about it and decided to move forward with the project. Part of the process, excuse me, was to obtain a permit through the Army Corps of Engineers, which took a little bit longer than anticipated just because they've been fairly busy recently. We took bids and we had a total of 5 bidders. The low bid was General Excavating for $87,907, and the high bid is J.J. Westoff for $230,000. Our estimate for the project was $60,000. So once the bids were opened, we contacted a couple of the lower bidders to try to determine why the cost was more than we had anticipated. And it wasn't a timing issue really for the construction schedule, although the schedule's pretty important. We have to have it done, in early spring before we get some rains and stuff in that area. The main factor for the additional cost is the risks the contractors take, not only for meeting Corps permit requirements, but in the event that there's some weather over the winter that may impact their operations and potentially wash out work they're doing. So after making those inquiries, we thought about what the best procedure would be moving forward. We really don't think you'll get a better price rebidding the project. In addition, time is pretty critical to get the work done over the winter months. And as Bruce had pointed out, it's kind of a risk right now leaving it as is. If the main were to break, then you'd be in the position of a sanitary sewer overflow situation and some implications with DEQ and that sort of thing. So we prepared a letter recommending award to the low bidder, General Excavating.
Thanks, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the council or comments?
I realize it is above budget, but, it's just really something that we've gotta do. It's surprising, but like Ben said, there are risks for the contractor with the way that it's across the creek and things like that, so. When we open the bids, when you're talking the first, when it was $200,000, we're all like, oh my God, now what are we gonna do? But luckily, we had those other two come in closer to estimate, but we believe it's something that we really need to do.
Any questions or comments from the council? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to award the bid for the Plum Creek Sewer Siphon Protection Project.
Move approval, and go with low bid of General Excavating of $87,907.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
20 in favor, looking back, Camper, Heights, Eagle, Schmidt.
I think we both did.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the camera caught who was first.
We'll go to the tape later. Alright, thank you. Item number 5, consideration of purchasing assets of golf course from Seward Country Club. Bruce, did you want to start that?
Sure. We've been working on the country club purchase after they made the offer to us, and Kelly's been negotiating with their attorney, Bob Blevins. So that's kind of where we're at. I think we're to the point where we need to discuss it a little bit more and decide what we want to do. The course has been closed since October the 12th. They've still been maintaining it. The greenskeeper's been out there, but I think the idea was if it was something that we did want to do, we'd need to probably take it over by December 31st, January 1.
Kelly, do you want to add anything at this time?
No, I have invited Bob Blevins to come this evening. If you guys have any questions for Bob, he's the legal counsel for the country club. I would suggest that we go into closed session again to discuss the current status of the negotiations, and we can also invite Bob in to the closed session if we want to ask him some questions about the negotiations in closed session.
Chris, did you have something to say?
You have something to say? I was gonna
make a motion, so go ahead.
I move the city council go into closed session with the mayor, the city administrator, city attorney Kelly. I guess reserve the right to bring Bob in if we choose choose to do so. Doing this for the protection of the public interest and pursuant to Nebraska Rev Stat Section 84-1410. 1, to discuss the proposed purchase of the Seward Country Club and to provide the city attorney with negotiating guidance, and discuss purchase for a period of 30 minutes.
Can you swing that down here?
Item
Or maybe not, I don't know.
I second that.
Okay.
No.
So at this time, I need to repeat the reason for the executive session. The reason is for the protection of the public interest pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statute 84-1410 sub 1, to discuss the proposed purchase of the Seward Country Club and to provide the city attorney with negotiating guidance for a period, I believe it's not to exceed 30 minutes.
Mine didn't say that, but let's say not to
Okay.
exceed 30 minutes.
So that's the motion. At this time, I guess, I don't remember how we do this.
And, yeah, you just vote on it. If there's any more discussion,
Yeah.
or not, you can vote on it.
Any other discussion before, otherwise, please register your votes. Please vote your votes.
All in favor of welcoming back Cameron Heights City Schmidt, motion passes.
You do this enough, you're gonna get good at this.
Was off for that comment.
We'll wait on one council member, then we'll get started here. I guess in the meantime, I just need a motion to come out of executive.
You're out. Oh, go ahead, that's fine.
Do I need a motion to come out of executive
That's
session,
fine.
or closed session?
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Please register your votes. Please vote the votes.
All in favor of welcoming back Heights City Schmidt, Cameron Heights.
While in executive session, no action was taken. And that the council went into executive session for the protection of the public interest and pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statute, section 84-1410, sub 1, to discuss the proposed purchase of the Seward Country Club, to provide the city attorney with negotiating guidance for a period of 30 minutes, not to exceed 30 minutes. So we're now out of executive session. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Anyone else from the public? You know, it's not a public hearing. If you have a lot of interest, obviously, in this item, if the public wishes to comment, you're welcome to give my attention, and you can come to the podium and address the council. But in the meantime, does anyone else have anything they wish to say or discuss? Nothing? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion at this time?
Yes, Kelly, help me. I'll make my first run at it, and if I
Okay.
don't include something, let me know.
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion that, the city attorney finalize the details of the negotiations for the purchase of the Seward Country Club. For the terms that were, explained in the letter from Blevins and Dahman.
Kelly, anything else you need to
Is that-
specify?
Good enough?
I think that's fine, yeah, you can direct me to, finalize the asset purchase agreement, and, if you want, we can take that back and get that finally approved at the next council meeting, or you could, direct the mayor to take all necessary steps to sign an asset purchase agreement
I'd like to
outlining,
include that.
including these terms.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd include that in the motion.
So we have a motion.
And including the negotiation guidance that you gave me in closed session.
We have a motion from Sid, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
All in favor, Wickenbeck, Campbell, Pike, Seal, and Schmidt, motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 6, consideration for approval of change in employee health plan provider. I believe Mark Coulter is here this evening to address the council on this item. Mark, welcome.
Thanks. How are you folks tonight? Thanks for holding off long enough, Bruce.
Drug my feet as long as I could.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak this evening about the health insurance renewal. Typically, about 45 days in advance, we get notice from the company of what the renewal rate's going to be. And it really kind of dictates whether or not we have to go to the marketplace or look for other alternatives, or whether we stay with what we have. I've shared the history of the rates with the administrator and the clerk, and they've been pretty stable until this year. This year is full implementation of the Affordable Care Act, and as you probably know, we were looking at a huge rate increase of somewhere in the neighborhood of about 24% with our current carrier. So I tried to negotiate with them. We looked at some alternative plans and couldn't get them to negotiate down any further. And I'll say in fairness to them, we have and still have some ongoing serious claims, but they were willing to move, and budget-wise, I think we budgeted about 6 or 7% from last year. And so we went to the marketplace, and we were able to obtain a quote from United Healthcare for very similar coverage. There's a few discrepancies and differences, but we're gonna go back to one plan this year, and continue to utilize the HRA that you established a year ago, for the deductibles. And it looks like we'll have about a 1% rate increase over the last year. That'll be locked in for 12 months till November 30th of next year, and prior to that, we're gonna continue to look at other options, some self-insurance and some additional fully insured plans. We went to 4 different places, and it was our only alternative other than Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So you have in front of you, we're intending to meet with employees next Monday, 2 different meetings, and then anybody that can't make those, we're gonna meet one-on-one with them. It's our intention to have as much in place by December 1st as possible. Have their new cards to them probably shortly after that. So I'd entertain any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mark or comments?
Thanks for allowing us to work with you and serve you.
Thank you for all the work.
Thanks, Mark.
Rich, any questions or comments? There's one part.
Could I get some feedback from an employee? Does this look feasible to you?
I think so,
Really, the only thing is that the out-of-pocket goes up a little bit, but we just couldn't afford to offer that $250, $500 deductible anymore. I mean, it's one of those plans that nobody has anymore. And so we feel comfortable with this, and, anytime you change, you're gonna have some people that aren't gonna be real happy because change isn't fun, but, we feel like that this is, as the administrator and the steward of your money, I think this is the only thing that we can live with. That kind of rate increase, we would've had to go back to the employees, and I'd much rather take this with a little bit higher out-of-pocket, where the people that use the insurance will pay a little bit extra. I think that's the only real fair way to do it.
Any other questions or comments? Would you like to make a motion?
Move to approve the change in healthcare plan to United Healthcare.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
all in favor, Wickenbeck, Campbell, Pike, Seal, and Schmidt, motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 7, city administrator's report.
It's in your packet. I don't know if anybody saw that, but there was some kind of interesting news that Nelnet bought Allo. And I worked with Allo out in Ogallala, and Allo actually went into Ogallala and pulled in fiber through the whole town, so. We believe in meeting with Olson and Associates and what their ideas is, and I will contact the president of Allo, cause we're friends, but, you know, I think there'd be an opportunity for them to come into Seward and possibly pull in fiber optic through town without any kind of a subsidy. So that's kind of exciting news, and I know we have been working with Great Plains, cause they've got the downtown area done, and we've had meetings with them, and I think there's an opportunity with them too, and maybe this will spur them on too, but I think that's, to me, it's kind of exciting, because they're more interested in not, they're gonna do Lincoln, but, you know, they've done Scotts Bluff and North Platte and Ogallala, and some, you know, not real huge communities, so I think this is an opportunity for us.
Any questions for the city administrator? Okay. Entertain a motion to accept the city administrator's report.
So moved.
To a motion
Second.
and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
In favor, Wilson Beck, Cameron, Pikes, and Schmidt.
Item number 8, any future requests for council agenda items or administrative action? Seeing none. Item number 9, upcoming events. We have November 28th at 5:30 p.m. the Chamber of Commerce Annual Holiday Lighted Parade. On December 5th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the Chamber of Commerce Rudolph's Red Nose Run from the middle school to Plum Creek Trail. Does anyone else have any upcoming events they'd like to share? Seeing none. Number 10, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second, please register your votes. Please display the votes. Thank you.
Good luck.